See how this mic do. Hopefully it's in front of me. Man, just rain, y'all. And it's looking gorgeous. I feel like I'm in Avatar. It's a beautiful walk back to where I'm staying. Should be a nice sunset walk. Gotta get your practice in. Oh man. God damn, bro. See, this is how nature should be. Minus this paved road. Just like luscious as it naturally is before it came and got paved over. I mean, I'm thankful for it. I can get through the mountain. I mean, I guess with less resistance. I wouldn't mind climbing, swinging from the trees. Avatar Pandora. That's what this place once was, apparently. For the Great Invasion. Great Invasion turned into the Great Inversion, Perversion, Subversion, Conversion, Coercion. Damn, what else can I think of? Whew. Nice hike. Mostly actually took this hike today to go get some dessert. That's like 2 hours away. Some very tasty bread pudding. It's my fave. But you know, get you up, get you moving, activating your body. If you use it right, well, ain't no wrong way to use it, I guess, but nice way to be in tune with it. Probably why people like hiking. Beyond the physicality is, you know, you get to be alone or you can do it with people, but on that journey within, this happens on a multi-dimensional level, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because you got to get it all in alignment to be one, to be that higher self, most high. That galled. Gotta get out that root. That's the stay down there. That's that Satan part. A lot of that going around. Well, what appears to be. I don't know, depending on where you are, you go outside, you're like, oh, the world ain't as bad as you think it is. Then you turn on the TV, the news, and you're like, oh, speak something different. Then again, yeah, it is the news. Probably where most anxiety is stemming from. The internet, the news, tell you all this shit. Then you assume it's true, because it's, it's the news. I think it's a trusted source. But I guess if you're already in the know or somebody of critical thinking, to question it. But the average, everyday person ain't questioning that shit. It's on national TV, the government. Makes sense. And you think, oh, this seems right. But you can be terribly wrong. And that's the whole problem. You don't question those in charge. The government, schools, finance, housing, just going along with it. That is correct. And if you weren't in the room when it happened, you don't know what actually went down, what's actually going down. Yeah, that's a nice view. Look at those buildings over there. You can see it if you focus in. Yeah. Yeah, but everything appears to be normal. Seems to be mostly go along to what you kind of experience, see on TV. So you think like, oh, yeah, this is it. But you don't know everything. Yet our ego has gotten in the way of that. I think we do know everything. There's always something more to know. Education, enlightenment, understanding begins before, after, and during school. But most people don't consider the before or the after. School has been made into another competition. Kind of get in, get out, if you got the money to do so, or financial help or some boo-boo. Let's see if you even go to, I guess, post high school. Or whatever else, how you call it in other countries. But yeah. It's basically because your freedom kind of ends once you start going to school. It's already taken over before that. Because by however you're living before then, who's taking care of you, whatever, they've already lived life, they've already taken in the knowledge or supposed knowledge and living a life, then they pass that on to you. So basically from when you're a kid going into school, you kind of just, you ain't you no more. Go to school, start to learn, be conditioned. These programming centers of what's what ain't. And then they test you on it, which that's a shitty thing right there. You think, oh, I failed school, I was always a bad test taker and stuff like that. And like, some people like good at test taking, graduate and get out of school, but they don't actually know nothing. But whether you could pass the test or not, it's mostly just geared toward under their deception, how determine how well you will be a good team player in this psyop they pull in. We get so pressured to be good students and like learn this, do that, get high grades and high marks, get this job and all that, and like yay. I see why financial security and all that stuff, make something of yourself, become something of yourself. That's all good, but what are we actually becoming? I don't know. You just get sucked into the system to feed the system. And that's why they test you. See if you be good. Like, oh yeah. Okay, you believe our lies. Come work in this, help us keep it together. Since not being in the room of these organizations, all that kind of shit, not knowing what's really going down. We think we just here to work, live, survive, and continue to the whole. But there's a whole secret other thing we don't know about. Some people you can be skeptical. Being skeptical makes sense. Be skeptical of everything, critically think. Takes what makes sense. Leave the rest. Like, yeah, get sucked into these lifestyles. So go to school. More school if you want it. Go to work. Live your life. Do some cool shit. Retire. Live out those days peacefully. Collect your little check. And I guess you die. And it's different culturally too, wherever you go, but it's mostly geared toward the same shit. We all live in the same commodified lives, kind of pre-scripted. Well, another I'm learning term, predictive programming. You see, what's that show? Westworld. Especially season 4, the whole storyline of creating other people's storylines and living out their lives. It's basically what happened to us. Somebody writing out storylines for them. This big play with the main character, a story of somebody else's story, collective story. Some people are trying to take over our collective story to control your individual story. But yeah, most people don't think about it. Most people know that they ain't living the lives they want to live. This ain't them. But it's like, what else you do? Guess you see how hard it is if you don't. On the contrary, you see how hard it is if you do. I think that's why most people are tired of it, want to get out of it, but they don't know nothing else. Because they weren't taught nothing else. Because you went to the schools, which, think about how much you actually retained, how much you're actually using nowadays. Ain't really learning no practicality of anything. Kind of nice being in these rural areas and seeing how it's kind of coexisting with the modernness you see of the big cities. But, shit more spaced out. You kind of have to know a little bit more because further away from hospitals, maybe mechanical help, maybe the internet ain't as fast, it's a little bit slower pace, but hopefully it creates more of the symbiotic relationship with how technology should be. It's not completely taking over your life, but coexistence. Shit, if you live out here, you're probably more likely to have more mechanical skills. If the car break down, you know how long that gonna be. As you can see, this road, just in this part that I'm on, yeah, it's kind of just green, nature. Or it could be rocky, as you just saw. When it rains, moves the ground. Agitates the rocks, the ground. Basically, what do you know to actually survive? Other than working in a system, so when the pandemic hit, and people panicked, and went for the fucking toilet paper. It's a virus, deadly virus, as they say. So, getting all the hand sanitizer and shit. It's like, that shows you how much dependent we are on the system. When the system is not up to par, shit happens. You see it in natural disasters. Economy, housing, it's all volatile. But when it works, it's never really working, but it has a optimal visibility of sustainability. It's perception of it, at least. You think things are flowing, things are moving, when it ain't going crazy, like, oh, there's food everywhere, buildings, offices, infrastructure, running smoothly, But it's all dependent on something. Some things ain't in your control. Ain't the truth. Either it is or it ain't. That's where the ones and zeros come from. True or false. Open, close. truth is, reality is more than it appears. You're just only seeing it in a certain viewpoint, other dimensions, densities. Hear about the different planes of existence, like X, Y, horizontal, vertical. Then you got your Z. That's where the 3D comes from. And there's other dimensions, densities. Think of the matter, solid, liquids, gas. There's another one, plasma. Since solid is the slowest moving, that's what we mostly see. Then you see water, because you swim in it, you drink it. Go to the beach to look at it, listen to it, frolic in it. You got your gases, like the air you breathe, or if your carbon monoxide detector goes off, or you smell something funny, like, what's that, stale eggs or some shit. So that gas is moving faster, so you can barely see it. Then, so I mentioned plasma, even quicker than that. So eyes can't perceive that. So if your eyes can't perceive it, then it's on a whole different other thing. Don't mean it ain't there. That's where these other realms, densities, and stuff come in. I mean, just think about your thought. Where do you hear that voice from? To think, you ain't gotta talk out loud like I'm doing right now. You just hear that little voice in your head. Where that's coming from, I think I looked it up once. It's like the random firing neurons, synapses, and stuff like that. But you could break it down chemically and metaphysically and stuff. Well, I guess that's what I'm doing in a way. But it's like, where does that voice? That's the other dimensions, the higher self. That's where it sits, because if you think of this solid world, it has to be contained in something. So it has to exist in other realms beforehand. If you're religious, believe in like God and all that kind of stuff, and like where does God come from? And you think of Earth and other planets, they weren't there, so coming from somewhere. If you think of other like insects and stuff, you see how they can perceive other densities of light spectrums. So it's like that, If you were blind, just because you can't see, don't mean there ain't a whole world here, physical things you can touch, interact with. you couldn't hear, don't mean there ain't sound. It's just a silent vacuum. You just, gotta be wired to cover that up a little bit. Slow building. Not that there's anything bad to see. I'm just trying to learn how to keep my privacy more, even while putting my stuff out there. Got a whole life I'm living right now y'all don't even know about. Crazy shit. But we all in our own movie. Characters in it, like I said. Sure is a thriller right now, a drama, a comedy. It feels like a fucking parody lately. Like grand scheme, but like I said, that's what the whole thing of this is, truth.
Avocado. Natural banana. Organic banana.
Damn, I want some snacks for the road. Avocado, banana, fresh. Y'all gotta get to a place where there's like, you have especially living in the States, they got farmers markets and stuff like that. Like, that should be everywhere versus just having to go to a building grocery store where people farm and pop up a stand. Being on a island life, it's fresh shit. That's likely GMO'd. Get some real food, real nourishment. Almost back on the road. Well, still on the road, but almost past this building. Yep, truth about to get real weird, especially if you're in the know or believe in concepts or like because your whole life has been this reality and other realities about to make sense while not making sense. So yeah, you have to be a character in the movie. It's like, what? This is real? How Harry Potter, that motherfucker ain't know he was a wizard. Till some shit started happening. Can say that for these superhero movies, not all of them, but the crazy thing is, alright, yeah, I can see it again. Back to nature. Turning ugly buildings in all short. She one of the government. Yeah, man, I'm just, shit, I stopped working since, September. I stopped working for some time this summer. Shit, before summer, I don't know, but been fortunate enough to be able to, not that I'm rich or anything, I've just been able to grew up with wit, learn how to grind, hustle, I'm frugal, so I don't spend much, refine my taste of what matters the most. Luckily, didn't get really caught up in this consumerist culture. When you don't spend your money, you could save your money. If you're about saving your money, I have a little nest egg. Not everybody got that to do, depending on how you work. I was fortunate enough to use my wit and skills to make a little bit of money. Shit, the most I ever made in a year was like 33,000 USD. Which ain't a lot. Then a couple taxes. That's before taxes, which they asked them for like a third. And I was like, what the, a third? That's the money I worked for. I got up early. I hauled around I think it was like a 30-pound backpack full of tools. Run around, transit around Chicago. Where do you want that TV? Okay. Put your bed together. You can go sleep on it now. Just doing basic shit too. I was just like crazy of some of the things people get paid to do. Not that it ain't technically challenged to mount a TV, which it is. Not everybody can do it. Or make a beautiful gallery wall, pictures and stuff. Or even a simple furniture. Product error and user error. The most I put together is IKEA. I like IKEA, even though some people are like, oh fuck IKEA. Which is valid, two things can be true at the same time. Like you're living this reality, but it's actually another reality is actually going on. The bigger, kind of more devious. That's why all this crazy shit going on. But there's that balance, duality. So the positive coming back to correct all this negative happening. But back to the IKEA. I like IKEA the most because they do it for a novice. They lay out all what you need to do. Like, could some parts be the same or look the same? You're like, no. Notice the small difference in this one. Do that one. And plus, it's all pictures. The universal character language, I guess. Because they about not using that many resources. Shows up more ways than one because you get a nice looking cheap ass shit. Probably gonna break in a year, maybe less than that. You hear of fast fashion, but then there's fast furniture. Then you got fast everything. Food, electronics, get that little cheap plastic stuff. And the funny thing is, people are like, oh, it was made in China. It's like, nice things made in China too. Your iPhone made in China too. So saying something made in China can't be used as a diss. Saying just cheap shit come from there. You know, America just don't really build shit. They outsource all the manufacturing. But yeah, IKEA the best in my opinion. Cause some other things, like you already kind of have to have knowledge of assembling furniture to even figure it out. They'll put like 5 steps in one and give you small ass pictures. You're like, wait, what? But gotta fucking decrypt what they saying. Maybe you figure it out, put your shit together, or you stop, call me. Or you don't even start at all. You're like, you know what? I know your strengths and weaknesses. Like, you know what? I ain't gonna be able to put this together. Let me pay somebody. Using this money I work hard for, and the slave work mentality. I mean, that's how able to employ myself, you know. Some people, Chicago, third populous city in the U.S. It's a good market. Consumerist culture. America. People be moving. Like, you know, got a season 2 at Ebb and Flow. But most of all, like, you know, I made taking my stagehand skills and fucking YouTube, how much DIY stuff you can do. Learning, investing, tools. It's like, alright, mount TVs, I'm artistic, I can help mount pictures, I can assemble furniture, I can help people move, you know, put up curtains, shelves, mirrors, make your home look like home. Home is home, but it's also your prison. And your work. And your school. Man, I probably should do a live video of this. I don't know how long this gonna be. Upload this. But I ain't got no internet, so do what you gotta do. But yeah. They made you a slave to their system. Because they made it seem like that's the only options. So you agreed. Learning what they taught you. Doing what they want you to do. It's all contributing to our downfall, hidden agenda, secret societies, magic. Like, I don't know. I was asleep too. Wasn't till 2019 really. I'm like, you know, all the trauma from this lifetime, past lifetimes of ancestors carrying it. So it's like, shit. You know, feeling like Atlas, got the whole weight on your shoulders. But with, you know, yoga, meditation, eating right, basically consuming right from a physical, spiritual, emotional, mental level. Some things is good for you. You can find the balance, the uphill journey, the hero's journey, which I told you I'm you know, getting to my higher self. Been low for so long, most of my life, all my life. And in these past few years, I've been like not without its battles. Just looking more positive, doing the work. A lot of work. Because you gotta unlearn all the shit they taught you. Learn some actually good shit. They're just teaching us how to be our lowest self. It's the only lowest self entity known as Satan. Here, in control of things. That's why things seem so crazy. You ain't the only one here though. There's a bunch of other shit. And the good, God, you know. That's why you got the positive there. Too. Just in a coming into terms with this kind of great war in the cosmos. One video was like a fifth dimensional chess game or something we involved in. Oh, coming on the way. You know, there are things, forces higher, more powerful than us. Even if you don't believe that, you gotta believe there's something higher than humans, because we've made ourselves to be, well, not all of us are humans, but y'all gonna find out. I know. It's weird and confusing. Learning along just for y'all to, or remembering, recalling. Yeah. Reality is very, very interesting. It's very multi-dimensional. So that means a lot of shit you don't even think is possible and so on and so forth. They're already showing us, been showing you in movies, TV shows and stuff like that. And just because you don't see that, you don't think it's true, but you know, it's like that saying, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? I don't know, that depends. But most likely, yes. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, that's a nice little brisk walk. And that's what I was saying about the hiking. How it becomes like this journey and like connecting to one. And just see, I'm just walking, but then philosophizing, talking. Just, it helps. Got to get away from the distractions of the city.